Think you know what's going on in the housing market right now because Saratoga Springs, Queensbury, Wilton, all telling three very different stories. So let's dive into the numbers here and see what that means, whether you're buying or selling. Because my name is Chris McMahon. I'm a local real estate agent right here with EXP in the Saratoga Springs and the surrounding area. And we're going to dive into these numbers and show you what's going on in the real estate market right now. Let's shrink this down, bring this over, and jump right into what we got going for you here. So right now, as we're looking at this, national and regional context here. So we're going to compare a little bit to New York State national average. But as far as a national average, the median list price is about $430,000, a little bit less than that. Okay. New York State is about 475, so that's higher. Now, a lot of that is driven by down south, New York City, Long Island area, where prices are quite a bit higher than what we're seeing up here. Up here, we're seeing in the capital region, median price range, 363.5. That's for the entire area. We're talking about Albany, up the Lake George, surrounding areas in there and there. The areas we're going to talk about right around the Saratoga area are going to be a little bit higher about that. We're going to dive into that and talk about more about it in just a little bit here. But the 30-year mortgage right now, if we're going to pull mortgage, about mid to high sixes, 6.58 to 6.7, right around that age. It's been kind of fluctuating up and down. So the forecast was for that to be continued going down, and people were thinking it was going to be below 6% by the end of 2026. That has been adjusted. The experts have adjusted that and figure it's going to float around about that 6.5 mark through 2026. So as we're looking at that, so we see the national averages up here, New York State averages in the capital region. So the housing market is stronger than you think, though, okay? Equity is building, foreclosures remain low right now at this time right here. So pending sales grew for the 8th straight month in this area, up 1.3% year over year. In the Northeast inventory, it's still pretty tight. It's 47% below pre-COVID numbers. We still haven't recovered in this area to what our numbers were showing before COVID, okay? In this area, we were looking about in the busy season averages of listings of around 4,000. Obviously, we can see that we're about 47% below that right now. So some areas in the country have recovered to those pre-COVID areas. So we're kind of hoping we're going to follow suit with that. Things are going to kind of come up as we continue through here. Probably not this season in 2026, but maybe in 2027, we'll hopefully see those increased listings out there and get a more balanced market than what we're seeing. So Saratoga Springs market, 800,000 is the median sales. All right. Average sales price is about $856. This is high. This is one of the highest in the area. That's up 17% year over year from this time last year. Got 177 active listings, 53 listings sold last month, which is actually a decrease. All right. But days on the market is at 40, which is up 122%. And there's kind of a good reason like that because luxury is really pushing in this area and the demand is up, okay? Because the median sales price is $785,000. There's a lot of houses in Saratoga that reach that number, even $1 million plus in there. So with that luxury market, it tends to be a smaller buying pool, which means luxury properties tend to wait a little bit longer than a more affordable home is before it sells. Okay, so it's dominating. It was 44 of the 53 sales in July were 500 plus thousand in Saratoga Springs. It's 83% of all the closings in that area. Homes are selling above list, as we can see, 101.6%. So they may be waiting 40 days, but if they're priced properly, they're actually getting a little bit more than what their list price is putting it out there. So there are fewer closings and there's longer waits, as we just talked about there. So inventory is sitting at about almost 4 months of inventory out there. So nothing new on the market. Within about 4 months, we'd run out of inventory. But of course, there's always new stuff coming on the market. That's why we all come back and we watch this every month, because I do this video every month for people to kind of get caught up and see what's going on in their area. So let's check out the Queensbury market right now. So as we can see, 7 days on the market. Homes are flying off the shelf in Queensbury, okay? They're sitting on the market 7 days, medium days on the market, okay? The listed sales ratio, again, 101.6. They are above that 100% average. The median sales price, $455,000. Now that's an increase of 4% year over year, but we see it's actually quite a bit lower than Saratoga Springs. So it's pretty affordable. So people who like the Saratoga Springs area, like the racetrack, maybe even like the Adirondacks, Queensbury is an excellent place. People are going to that area. Property values are rising, which is good for homeowners in that area and stuff like that. But it's a beautiful area, and people are really liking it and kind of taking to it. The average sales price is $518,000. Again, pushing up over that $500,000 mark. And sold listings last month was 35. As you can see, what we talked about, people going to that area because that's up 75% year over year from last year. Okay. So like I said, they're flying off the market. Days on the market is 17 days, but medium days on the market is 7 days right there. So we can see they're moving very fast in that area. Steady growth with the 4%. Absorption rate, they're at about a little over 2.5 months for that absorption rate in there. So 15 of the 35 sales were above that $500K in the Queensbury market. In Wilton, let's go back there. All right, our Wilton market here. Take a look at this one. 109% list to sales ratio, which means they're getting quite a bit more on average. Okay, so but the sold listings were 5. So there's not a ton of sold listings out there that came from the month of July. But days on the market are 6, which is also very fast, what's going out there. And they have 13 active listings. So there's not a ton of listings in Wilton. It's a smaller area, not as many as Saratoga Springs, but there's enough out there to keep things going. Highest list of sales ratio at 109%, like we just mentioned over the medium sales price is $525 and the average sales price is $520. So they're pretty close between the medium and the average. Both are up double digits year to date as far as 12% and 17.5%. All right. And the absorption rate here in Wilton is over 5 months, 5.2 months, which is one of the longer ones in the area that we're seeing in there. So prices are increasing. All 3 of those spots right there, they're all getting over their average. We're going to compare these in just a second here. Quite a few here. So here's what we got here. Medium sales price, you can see Saratoga leads the way with that 800, as we mentioned. A lot of high value luxury properties in Saratoga Springs. Queensbury comes in as the most affordable in those 3 areas. Wilton, 525 is kind of that one in the middle. Closer to Saratoga, a little bit higher price point than we see in Queensbury, but cheaper than Saratoga. All of them, I said, as there, you can see right here, line number 2. All of those prices are up year over year. Days on the market, Queensbury and Wilton are moving very quickly, where Saratoga, because of that luxury market, sits a little longer. It's hanging on over a month, where the others are about a week to 2 weeks in that area. All above sales ratio. Now, the biggest numbers of sales are happening in Saratoga Springs with 53, which makes sense. They got the most amount of listings. Queensbury's 35, Wilton is 5. And the absorption is going up on all of them for them. Now, all of them are in a seller's market, and really the area in general has been a seller's market for quite a long time. So one thing to talk about as luxury is the capital region outperforms national trends. Okay, the U.S. prices fell 2.4% year over year, where locally we are up 4 to 18%, depending on where you are. So if you're looking for a purchasing home where appreciate and value, then this is a perfect spot that you're going to want to try and do this in. Okay. Mortgage rates and strategies that we're going to cover on this. So mortgage rates, like I said before, they're hovering about a little over 6.5 at this point right now at the time of this video, but they fluctuate daily. You want to know most updated mortgage rate, reach out to me. I get updated daily on the mortgage rates. I can get that out to you, let you know. Message me, call, text, whatever is easiest for you. But we got 30-year fixes sitting right around that 6%. All right, so the experts are forecasting, like I said previously, that we were going to be below that 6% mark by the end of 2026. You know, things that are happening out here affect the economy. That's not looking like it's going to happen. It's going to stay right about that 6.5 mark. Maybe come down a little bit by the end of 2026. So for buyers, all right, don't wait for that dramatic drop. It's not going to come, and that's not looking like it's going to come here. So if you're looking to buy a house, you want to get it, then, you know, look for the value in the house. We'll make sure the price is going to be cost effective for your budget. But look to move into there because, as we talked about earlier, this area is experiencing growth as far as the value of the home. So even if you're getting into a home, you get a couple years of growth on it, pay down a little bit, you can take that equity, roll it into a house when interest rates come down, or refi. That's another thing, okay? Buy now, refinance later when those rates come down. So the affordability is improving slightly here. So prices are rising generally at about 2% a year, whereas people's income are rising 3.5%. So that affordability gap is starting to tighten up a little bit than what we've seen there in the past. Okay. And there's also the ability to buy down rates if you want to try and get a lower rate right now instead of waiting to refi or roll that equity into another home later on. So for sellers, local demand is strong, as we saw in here. All of them are getting over their asking price on the average when they're priced correctly right there. So if you're looking to put your house in the market and you're looking to get that value out of it, get that equity, maybe roll it into another one, downsize, stuff like that, now is a great time to do that. You're going to want to get that house on the market. If you want an idea of what your home can go for on the market, reach out to me. It's a no obligation. I do this for people all the time, but I can do a home evaluation for you, let you know what you could possibly get for your home on the market if you were to list it, and also put a strategy together for you as far as a marketing plan and steps to take right now to get your house ready to list. So priced right homes are selling fast. We're seeing that in the Queensbury market with the 7 days, and they're getting out of there. Rate lock paralysis is easy. So like I said before, there's a couple different things here that you can do. A lot of people are in that 3% and they don't want to get out of and get the next one. But there's also, you're going to want to get into a home that's going to fit what your family dynamic is currently, and maybe what you're sitting at right now isn't. And the interest rates aren't going to be coming down to that 3% in the foreseeable future or anytime soon. So if that's what's holding you back, then we got to kind of look at what the different values of the houses are and what you can afford, and just kind of go through the numbers and see what would make sense for you. So capitalize when you're selling on the low inventory that we talked about that's out there, which is forcing that competition and keeping it a seller's market for right now. All right, so we got some local trends going on here, some emerging trends. Saratoga County prices are up, everything like that. So what's your next move? So sellers list right now, inventory is tight, buyers are active. You're going to want to take advantage of both of those and get your prices are also at their peak, and you're going to want to get your house out of the market as soon as you can. So buyers, get pre-approved today. That's step number one. You got to know what you're looking at as far as what your budget's going to be and what's going to make sense. So get pre-approval today. I've got several lenders and some brokers that I can send to you. Reach out to me and I will send you their contact information. It's all it is a phone call. Take a couple minutes to get that process started. And again, there's no obligation on that. Investors, so Saratoga, Queensbury, offering strong rent when it's coming back. So it's something to keep in mind. And also those prices are appreciating on both of those, on all of those as well. If you're an investor and you want to learn more about the investing market and the capital region as a whole, in a couple of days, my investment market video will be coming out. I do one specifically in investors. That's how I got started my real estate career. I've owned rental property for over 20 years, as well as a number of fix and flips in my portfolio. So I give a pretty good, strong recommendation of an overview of the entire capital region as far as investment goes. So look for that video as well. Subscribe to the channel because I put out these videos every month, so you can get updated on what's going on in the market. Even if just keep an eye on things, stuff like that. And like I said, if you want to know what your home's value is, or you want to get a plan put together for either whether you're buying or selling and get that process started, reach out to me. You can call, text, email, whatever works best for you. I'd be more than happy to help you put that together. So until then, we will see you guys on the next one.